Bender last night for the Kings, falling by 5 to the Suns. So tonight, the Kings wrapping up the traditional first half of the season, if you will, against the Nuggets in Denver. And Kyle Draper is in Denver. Drapes, help us understand what the heck happened last night.
I'm still trying to figure it out. And, I thought the Kings played an extremely inspired game. I thought they played hard. Give Phoenix credit, man. They made some tough shots. They got, like Mike Brown said, 2 Hall of Famers and Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. And, they just got them last night. I thought the officiating could be questioned at the end. I'm not going to be like Mike was last night saying 27 fouls to 16. I'm going to say the timeliness of the calls that were made or the lack of calls made really hurt the Kings. Ultimately, though, you give up 130 points in regulation, it's going to be hard to beat a team. And so that concerns me. Once again, the defense. But I thought they played inspired ball. They just didn't come up with the win.
As far as Mike Brown's post-game comments, there was 2 calls in particular, as you know, that he was especially upset about. 24.1 seconds to go. Domas scores. He pump fakes Booker, and Booker goes up in the air and falls on him. And Domas scores, and it should have clearly been an and one. He was clearly fouled, and the official was standing right there,
right,
and there was no call. And Domas kind of looked at him, and then there was no break in the action, no stoppage in play. So the game just kept going. That kind of got lost in the shuffle, but it was an obvious miss. Then the other one was when the Suns are inbounding, 18.1 seconds to go. Keegan was called for grabbing Booker's jersey, and so that was a foul before the inbound, so you get free throw in the ball. And I think, you tell us, Mike Brown, I think his complaint was, look, one, if you're going to say, well, you didn't call the foul that Booker committed because it was incidental contact, then you can't call the same thing on Keegan because that was incidental contact. I think that was the gist of his complaint.
No, I think what he was saying is, he said it was marginal contact, and the 2-minute report says this as well today, that it did not impact Domantas Sabonis' ability to go up with the shot. And Mike's point is, well, the Keegan grab did not impact Booker's ability to get free.
Right.
Like he was already free, basically. And so I think Mike's saying if one end is not impacting the guy's ability to do something, make sure you call it the same way on the other end. And I think that's where his frustration is. Yeah.
I understand that frustration. I know we'll talk more about it. What frustrated me more than those calls, or lack of, whichever one you want to talk about, was when Domas on the missed free throw by Booker didn't box out. I mean, there's controllables, as we've all heard, and we all know, and there's things you can't control. Officiating, yeah, you have to raise your voice when it's not fair, when it's not right, but you can't control that. But Domas just didn't box out. And I think wasn't it Royce O'Neal who tipped the ball, and then I think Grayson Allen ended up getting it? You got to box out in that situation, Trace, at this level.
You got to get that, but they shouldn't even have been in that situation because you had the foul with the Keegan Murray situation. That made it a 2-point game. Then they get the offensive rebound. You make 2 free throws, and then it becomes a 4-point game, and the game is basically over. I hear you. I thought as it was happening, because I was just sitting there watching it, I'm like, Domas has been so great, and they've got every rebound all game long, but the one they needed to have, they couldn't come up with. And so, yeah, you got to do a better job. I do think, the ball took kind of a weird bounce, meaning it went from Domas's side to like across the lane. And so, I mean, yeah, you got to grab that, but that's you could point to that play as saying, yeah, you got to do that, but I could point to 4 or 5 other plays that says, you know what, the call should have been made, or this should have happened, or that should have happened. Yes, I agree. You got to get that offense, that rebound, defensive rebound. But it happens, man.
Here's Mike Brown post game, some of his comments on the officiating. Mike Brown.
We're down 3 with 24 seconds left, and Domas rolls to the rim, and he shot fakes, and Devin Booker lands on his back with 2 hands, and the officials tell me that it's marginal contact, that it doesn't affect the shot, but it's a foul, and I don't, the foul that they called on Keegan, Booker was still going to get open. It was marginal. People hold at the end of games, and they call that foul because they say it's a foul and they got to make the right call. But the foul by Devin Booker, I'm just so. And I'm just emotional right now from the no call, and I saw it live. I watched it again on playback, and a foul is a foul, and you got to call it, just like you called the foul on Keegan.
Yeah, there was a bad call in there. To me, Mike Brown is, and coaches do this sometimes, I think he's talking about the officiating. That was a missed call, but there was other things that he just didn't want to talk about. The defense was not very good again. Also, he did mention, in addition to those comments, he said, yeah, we had a couple turnovers, a Monk turnover, a Fox turnover, and he mentioned the missed box out. And I think he didn't want, it wasn't a time where he felt like his team needed the criticism. So we went after the officiating a little bit. That was a bad call, but that's not why they lost the game, Kyle, is it? That's not why they lost the game.
It's never why you lose a game, one call. But I will say the Domas call should have been an and one that ties the game up at 124. And I think the frustrating part for Mike is immediately after the Domas non-call, then the Suns get their call. I mean, it's of course it's not why they lost the game, but I don't begrudge Mike for trying to stick up for his guys and point it out. And as the game was going on live, I thought the same thing. And I'm sitting there right behind, Mike and them right off to the right. And he sprints out to midcourt to try and get an explanation. And it was a clear foul. And of course, that's not why. There's 100 plays that go on in between the game. It's not why you lost the game. Grayson Allen hitting a buzzer beater, late turnovers in the game, a couple of missed free throws, but that was part of it. And that's why I say I'm not going to agree with Mike, 27-16. I'm going to say the timeliness of those calls. That Domas non-call, 10 out of 10 times, that's usually a foul. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter. For some reason, the officials decided not to blow the whistle there, which is shocking. That's almost an automatic foul call. Whitey, we see that 5 or 6 times per game. And for some reason, Domas did not get that call. Is it the reason they lost the game? No. But I tell you what, it doesn't make you feel good when you lost the game and you feel like you got robbed on 2 calls, one that didn't get called, and then the Devin Booker foul by Keegan.
Well, to me, you can only complain about one of the calls. I mean, you can say they should have both been fouls or both not. I mean, they missed the call on Domas. The other one, Keegan grabbing a jersey before the ball's inbounded. I mean, they're going to call that. I mean,
but they're going to call it. They should have called the Domas thing. That's what I'm saying. 10 out of 10 times the Keegan foul is called. 10 out of 10 times usually the non-call on Booker is called. And so right. I hear you. But when you look back at the replay of the Keegan, it really had no impact on the play at all. Like Booker was free. He was getting free. Now, if it led to a turnover, we've seen it before. I watched the Suns against the Warriors this past weekend. And on the final play, Draymond just grabbed Kevin Durant, held him and everything. No call. And so I think Mike and players and fans in general just want consistency. That's all we asking for.
Yeah.
That's all people are asking for is consistency.
Well, it's not the first time we've talked about bad calls as they relate to the Kings and other teams. We know the Knicks are filing a protest because they lost the game because of a foul call on Jalen Brunson a couple nights ago where the officials themselves looked at the replay after the game and came out after the game. The officials themselves said, yeah, that wasn't actually a foul. So the officiating has been horrendous. I just think for the Kings right now, for Mike Brown to make that big a deal of it, and it was a blown call. It was a surprisingly obvious call. It was blown. I think there's other things that maybe he didn't want to talk about. He feels like his team needs some support right now. And I'll tell you what, no matter what you think or I think or what he thinks, they need to win one of these nights. And tonight would be a good night for it, Kyle.
Yeah, this is a big game tonight. I mean, it's going to be tough. You lose this, you go into the All-Star break, 0-3 on this road trip. Right now, you're in 8th place in the Western Conference. I mean, this thing is going sideways. And Whitey, we talked about it 2 weeks ago. Said this month of February will make or break the Kings season. And they started off solid, but this last, week and a half or so, they've been reeling a little bit. And so this is a massive game tonight. I think the Nuggets come into this game a little banged up. I think they'll be missing a couple of players tonight.
Yeah,
so hopefully the Kings can catch them on that. But this is, I mean, I talked to some people behind the scenes earlier today about this game, and everybody is saying, you know what, to go into the All-Star break with a win, it would make the plane ride a whole lot better. Like, this is a big one tonight, no doubt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the starting backcourt for the Nuggets. Last I saw, both KCP and Jamal Murray listed as questionable, so we may have an update on that. Last night, by the way, I don't know about you. Well, I think we both heard on Twitter from a person or two that had been hearing what we said about De'Aaron Fox. We talked yesterday about De'Aaron Fox being hurt. I don't know whether he was or wasn't. Whatever it was, it didn't seem to be bothering him last night, so that was an excellent sign to see the 40 from De'Aaron Fox, because obviously the Kings need a lot more of that if they're going to get anywhere near where they hope to get to this year.
Yeah, Fox was engaged. He was, playing hard. He was being aggressive. I thought he took 31 shots last night. Your boy got him up.
Yeah.
And this goes back to the conversation we had yesterday with High Flyer when somebody said De'Aaron Fox looks checked out. High Flyer said checked out means you take 3 shots. De'Aaron Fox took 31 shots. It's not him being checked out. I think he's banged up. I think he's still learning. I think he's trying to figure it out on the fly here. And I do think he needs this all-star break. He was 14 of 31 yesterday. I was watching that game, and I know he shot 5 of 12, but there was a point where I was like, man, I wish he would take the ball to the basket a little more. I wish he didn't take so many threes. 5 of 12, though, is a very respectable percentage.
Excellent.
And so I'm not going to, get on his case for that. I thought he played tremendous. I thought Domantas Sabonis played tremendous. Malik Monk as well. But I also thought, and we'll talk about this in Drape's takes, the absence of Trey Lyles was huge, I felt, last night. You just didn't have another offensive player off the bench that could help you out. And especially when they went small and you decide to go small back, with no Trey Lyles could be that small ball 5 for you. And I thought they were missing him big time yesterday.
We're right back with Drape's Takes. He's coming to you from Denver. It's the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Keep it here to Sactown Sports for the Sacramento Kings push toward the postseason.
Get analysis from our local shows, breakdowns from our Kings insiders, and all the thrilling moments from the G-Man.
Keegan, quick catch, quick strike. There's another one up in the lights and in the well. 10 3-pointers made. Keegan Murray putting on an all-time scoring exhibition tonight.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Welcome to the President's Day sale, happening now at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Celebrate with us and get huge savings on our giant selection. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. Stockton Honda.com.
#1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's L1 report.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Already been an eventful day. The 49ers don't have Steve Wilks to kick around anymore. We'll get to that. I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but I'm a little surprised. We'll get to that coming up here. But first, we got Drapes in Denver standing by with Drapes Takes.
Calm down, Lion. Calm down. Take it easy, man. Just take it easy.
I got to start off with my guy, Domantas Sabonis. I know we lost the game last night against the Phoenix Suns, but Domantas Sabonis was the best player on the floor. In and game out, guys, he continues to show why he should be an all-star. He should be heading to Indiana this weekend. You know what's interesting? As I was watching that game last night, Nurkic had no clue what to do with Domantas Sabonis. He was begging the referee for some foul calls. He was looking for help to decide. What Domantas Sabonis did last night, 35 points, 18 rebounds, 12 assists. And you know what was so great about his stat line and the way he played last night, Whitey? He was still effective when the Phoenix Suns went small. Remember last time these two teams played, they went small and Domas looked lost, didn't know how to attack it. I thought he beasted them. Kevin Durant tried to guard him. It was barbecue chicken. Domantas Sabonis, mark my words, write this down. And I heard this on NBA radio today on Sirius XM, and they were talking about it, and I had never thought of it like this. They think Domantas Sabonis is a future Hall of Famer, and I'm coming around with that. Forget about All-Star. Forget about multiple-time All-Star. I think Domantas Sabonis, if he continues on this trajectory, is going to be a Hall of Fame player, Whitey.
Basketball Hall of Fame?
Yes. Yeah. No, soccer. What do you think? Dude, he's going to be a 5 or 6-time All-Star. He's going to be, one of the league leaders in triple doubles.
Yeah.
I said if he continues this trajectory is what I'm talking about.
Yes, and you're right. And it is surprising. I hadn't thought of that either, but then there's no reason why he can't as long as he can continue on this path. By the way, if I may just add one thing to what you said and everything you said, terrific. 35 points, 18 rebounds, 12 assists. How about 3 block shots last night?
Yeah, he played some defense out there. A little rim protection, if you will. And so I thought that was impressive last night for Domantas Sabonis. My second Drapes take has to do with De'Aaron Fox. Whitey, we spent half the show yesterday arguing with people about De'Aaron Fox. People thought we were carrying water for the franchise, for the organization. People thought we were making excuses. De'Aaron Fox came out there and played a magnificent game. He was engaged. He had it going on. I still think he's banged up, but he just played through it. And so I said it before and I'll say it again. And people listening, you're driving in your car, you're at work right now, you're listening on YouTube, on the chat, whatever. De'Aaron Fox has 2 jobs, ladies and gentlemen. 2 jobs. Get buckets and play defense. I thought he did both last night. I thought he was fantastic. Sure, I'd like him to cut down on the 6 turnovers. I get that. But on a night when you got Kevin Durant on the floor, on a night when you got Devin Booker, De'Aaron Fox, I thought, delivered last night.
Yeah, and I've been trying to think, Kyle, why so many people have been saying, his attitude's bad. Because people don't just make these things up. And I think it's because of that whole issue where he didn't talk to the media for a while. And that was, as we know, that had something to do with him being unhappy about, when he was speaking to the media or when he was asked to or wasn't asked to. It had nothing to do with him, his feeling about being here in Sacramento.
Right.
I'd be surprised if that affected his play at all. But that's the only thing I can think of as to why people were questioning his attitude.
Yeah, and the thing about De'Aaron Fox, man, I've never heard him whisper about wanting out of Sacramento.
No.
And if this is what Kings fans are going to do to one of our homegrown guys, that's pathetic. And so I think we need to ride with this dude. I think there's a reason why this team is on track for the playoffs. Hopefully, we're seeing the best of De'Aaron Fox last season and this season. I mean, this is a guy we should be proud of, not, start abandoning him when things go south just a little bit for a week or two, or, his play doesn't reach the height that people want. It's like, we should have traded De'Aaron instead of Tyrese. Oh, this dude's checked out and all this. Fans, you know what? I hate it, Whitey. I hate it, especially after games and the way fans react. It's like, chill out, guys. Mm-hmm. It'll be okay. And I thought De'Aaron was fine last night.
It does look like that both of them missing the All-Star game, there's really a silver lining there, especially for De'Aaron Fox.
I think so, man. And, I asked Mike Brown this yesterday, and he wasn't having it. I said, can the All-Star break help you? You think the team is ready for the All-Star break? And, he wasn't open to entertaining that at this point because he said, we got a game. We still got one more game. His focus is all on Denver. But, my take is, and we've talked about it, and I'm sure you agree, the All-Star break can't come soon enough.
Right.
So this team can hit the reset button, take a deep breath, and come out fired up for the last 28 games of the season. My last and final Drapes take. Monty McNair has to go out there and get this Sacramento Kings team some help. One loss of Trey Lyles should not cause all kinds of upheaval with the rotation and the lack of bench scoring. But look at the guys Mike used. And I understand Sasha wasn't there as well. So you're missing two of yours. But look at the rotation that Mike Brown used. You got Malik Monk. Fine with that. Then you got Davion, Keon, Alex Lynn, and Kessler Edwards. Those aren't offensive weapons. And so last night, the Suns bench, let me do the math really quickly here, Whitey. 32, 34, 41, 44 to 25, they outscored us. And so we need to beef up the bench. You know what? Royce O'Neal made a big three yesterday down the stretch. And so I'm like, darn, we could have used a guy like that. I know I was out on Royce O'Neal, but some scoring off the bench, that's what this team needs.
Yeah, he had 9 points. He had 5 assists. He had 4 rebounds. And again, not to get bogged down in the numbers, but he
4
clearly
steals.
Contributed. Yeah, and Eric Gordon. I mean, these are legitimate NBA players. Josh Okogie. And the Kings are just like, man, who do we have down there?
Yeah, and so I thought the loss of Trey and Sasha really hurt this team last night from an offensive standpoint off the bench. And I know De'Aaron Fox, dropped 40, Domas 35, but Malik was the only other player to really get it going offensively. And if I could do a bonus Drapes take real quick.
Bonus Drapes take.
Where's my guy Keegan Murray? I know he got into foul trouble, but I keep telling everybody that will listen. The Kings' path towards improving lies in that guy right there. We got to figure out a way to unlock Keegan Murray. He's averaging 9 points a game over his last 4, I think it is. Like, this is the number 4 pick. This is a guy that dropped 47 in the game. He needs to get more touches. He needs to get more involved. He needs to be more aggressive. We need more from Keegan Murray.
Where it gets tricky there, and of course you're right. We all know that. And I heard Chris today, I was Styles and Watkins, talking about Keegan's February has been, underwhelming. But they got up 95 shots last night, 10 more than the Suns.
Right.
So where do the shots come from? No one else other than Fox and Domas and Malik had 16. Those shots, if Keegan's going to get more touches, they have to come from somewhere. Who do they come from?
Well, De'Aaron took 31 last
night. Yeah.
Why not? Why can't that be 25? And it's not necessarily about Keegan Murray having plays ran for him. He has to be aggressive. De'Aaron Fox is being aggressive. Domas is being Malik Monk's calling his own number.
Yeah.
Keegan has to be aggressive. He has to understand he has the green light as well. He can't float. I'm sorry. The kid is too good. He can't just be an also-ran. He can't be an other on this Sacramento Kings team. We need Keegan Murray to be that 18, 19 point per game scorer. And too many times lately, he sort of just blended in.
By the way, is that Drapes takes? I didn't want to step on it.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm fired up. I'm done. I'm tired, man.
One thing I would say that was a positive, and I was not encouraged by that. I'm not trying to, you know what? I'm not trying to put a smiley face on anything. But at least last night, they outscored the Suns fast break points 26-4. So, and that is something we've talked about. And Monty talked about Friday. And it's like obvious they need to do that. I think they are making progress there. But that's a really tough loss. You had the chance to gain the tiebreaker, and you're slipping down the ladder here in the West. And, boy, it could really use a win tonight. And I was about to say I'm not too optimistic about tonight. But the Kings, when you're down on them, they're going to win by 40. So,
right.
Yeah, shrug. I don't know.
This would be massive. And, Katie made a great point yesterday after the game when I saw her. The Kings won the points in the paint battle.
Yeah.
They won the second chance points. They won the fast break points. They didn't have an egregious amount of turnovers. In fact, the Suns turned it over 12 times, gave up 18 points. Usually you win those kind of games. But last night, I will say, Mike Brown made a point about the fouls. Look at the discrepancy in the free throw shooting. They outshot us by plus 11 from the free throw line. And so maybe Mike has a point. I don't know. Maybe that's because if you look at the shooting percentages, they're exactly the same. The Suns hit 4 more threes, but the Kings hit 5 more shots. And so, man, it's heartbreaking that they lost because, I thought they actually played well last night. As frustrating as it was to see them lose that game, I didn't think they played poorly last night.
I think what the identity of this team really is now is when the threes are going in, they can beat anybody, and when the threes are not going in, and I know they could have won that game even though they were 9 for 31, but this team need to be knocking down their threes or they're really challenged.
No, 100%. I mean, we talk about the identity of this team. You know, we know we're not a lock 'em down kind of team. We're not a grit and grind, Memphis Grizzlies old school kind of basketball. We're a aesthetically pleasing, stylistically fun to watch kind of team. Yeah, and fun to watch is when you knock down some threes. And so you're right, man. We need the three ball to go down.
Mm-hmm. I got to ask you here, and maybe we need to come back, take a time out, come back. But you mentioned, and I agree with you, mentioned Monty needs to get this team help. Yep. How do you do that at this point? We'll come right back with Drape's answer to that here. It's the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Get ready for an exciting drive in the 2024 Kia Forte GT line, now at Elk Grove Kia for just $19,988. Experience efficiency with an impressive 39 mpg, smooth rides with automatic transmission, and stay on track with a lane departure warning system for only $19,988. Enjoy modern conveniences with its huge 10.25-inch touchscreen with navigation and a rear camera, Bluetooth wireless technology, and the ease of push-button start for only $19,988. Or lease this incredible ride with no cash out of pocket for only $279 per month plus tax. You heard right. No money down and only $279 plus tax. Elk Grove Kia, where driving dreams come true. Visit us today in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovekia.com.
Sale price $20,738. Dealer choice rebate $750. Net price $19,988. Must finance 3 Kia finance 5 at this price. 24 monthly 0 cash down. Residual of $63,950 based at 10K per year. 20 cents a month. No reserve security deposit. Kia Tier 1 approval required. Expires 2/15/2024.
Elk Grove Kia.
Government Mule. Live in concert. 30 years strong tour. Friday, February 16th. The venue at Thunder Valley. Government Mule with special guest Lucas Nelson and POTR. Tickets on sale now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. New album, Peace Like a River, is in stores now. Don't miss Government Mule live.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
When accidents turn life upside down, AutoAccident.com is in your corner. Compassionate advice, loyal support, and the courage to fight for you. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
The sewer system. It's probably the last thing on your mind, and that's okay. Because at the Sacramento Area Sewer District, it's our first priority. As the region's largest sewer utility, we own and maintain thousands of miles of sewer pipe. And our job is to get to your sewer problem before it interrupts your life. So whether you've got a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night. The Sacramento Area Sewer District. It's a dirty job, but we're happy to do it.
Don't miss out on New Year's savings at Folsom Lake Kia. Low prices and payments on your favorite new Kia models. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia, right here in Sacramento for over 25 years, or FolsomLakeKia.com.
It's Carmichael Day with a Fire Wings announcement. The Florin Road location now serves pizza, and oh my goodness, it's so good. Don't forget the Wings Day Wednesday lineup, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. You got 21 delicious flavors to choose from and the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Save time and order online. Go to firewings.com or download the app. Find a location near you, order online, and earn rewards. Fire Wings, Just wing it.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, get a free T-check and free exam. Book your appointment today at Revive Sacramento. We know we can help you. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Minute report yet.
I did not read it. I heard about it, though.
Yeah, we have here. Yeah.
What you got for me?
25.6 seconds left. Comment. Booker drawn into the air on the pump fake towards Sabonis. Resulting contact is marginal.
That's their money word right now, too. That's their buzzword, marginal.
Does not affect Sabonis' ability to enter his shooting motion. CNC correct non-call.
Yeah. I mean, we all. I think I disagree, obviously, with that. I'm not sure 100% how you feel. That should have been a foul. And so here's my take on the 2-minute report, real quick, because I was going to ask Mike Brown about this because he said, "Oh, I can't wait to see the 2-minute report."
I know.
We need to get rid of the 2-minute report. It serves no purpose, Whitey.
Nobody likes it.
Nobody likes it. Nobody's happy with it. You wait to see if the league admits the error or the mistake, and they don't. And to me, it serves no purpose. And they're saying, "Oh, well, we want to be transparent." It serves no purpose because now you got even more angry Kings fans. We got to see the 2-minute report. And even if it did say it should have been a foul called, what does that do?
Mm-hmm.
It serves no purpose. I think the NBA should get rid of the 2-minute report because it has been I don't see how it's helped the game at all.
18.1 seconds to go. Comment. Murray grabs and pulls Booker's jersey away from his body. His contact affects his FOM, freedom of movement, during the throw-in. CC correct call. The NBA can't do what you suggest, even though everyone would welcome that, because you can't put the genie back in the bottle. And if they were to stop doing that, then everyone would say, "Oh, see, yeah, it's all fixed." And
so how do we fix this? Do the officials need to have a press conference afterwards, and not the pool report or anything like that? Do beat writers need to be able to question the officials, like the crew chief, after every game or every controversial game or every clutch game where it's a tight game? I mean, because something has to be done. It's just, you look at the situation with the Knicks, you look at last night with the Kings, and I think what's frustrating to the fans, it just seems to be no repercussion. It's like, oh, well, we got it wrong, sorry, and move on. And I don't know. It's just frustrating, man. Well, because I love the league, Whitey.
I know.
I'm all about the NBA. I want the NBA to be the best league ever. I want it to surpass football. I want it to be bigger than the NFL. But when you have situations like this, man, and what happened the other night to the Knicks, it just, it messes up the credibility of your league.
Let's just see real quick, the last 2 minutes, how many they got right here. Correct non-call, correct non-call, correct non-call, correct non-call, correct non-call, correct non-call, correct call, correct call, correct call, correct call, correct call. Perfect! Only the 2-minute report.
They didn't make any
mistakes.
They got
everything right. Yeah, every call was correct.
Yeah, and that's ridiculous,
Perfect.
Right? I mean, come on. And that's the thing. The 2-minute report, like we said, is supposed to be transparent. And, when you see something like that, Devin Booker, Domasko, like I said it earlier, that's a foul 10 times out of 10 usually.
I know.
Like that's an instant whistle. Even if it's not a foul, it looks like a foul.
Oh,
so
yeah.
How can in that moment that ref say, you know what, it didn't look like, it looks like a foul? And so I don't know, man. It's just frustrating.
That might have been one of those really stupid instances where if Domas had missed the shot or if he'd failed to get the ball, that's a foul.
Right.
Yeah. Then,
if he would have been a smaller player or something like that, you know, and not as strong. And so it's I can't defend the league on this one, man. It's, you know, I looked at the tape. I mean, I was right there watching it. I'm like, that's clearly a foul and no call. I don't know how to defend the league on this.
Have you ever talked to a coach of any team who has said, the 2-minute report, man, we always look forward to that. It's great. Nobody.
No, because
nobody.
The only time a coach wants to see the 2-minute report is when their team got screwed, like Mike Brown, you know? And so, and then even if it's said, like I said, even if it's said that they got the call wrong and they should have called a foul there, what does that do for Mike Brown? How does that help him? You know, if that call is made, Domas goes to the line, hopefully hits the free throw, and we're tied at 124. And who knows what happens after that?
They should at least, every time that happens, the head coach should get, dude, here's $100 at round table or something, you know, get something for it. They don't get anything. Here's a gift certificate at Walmart or something, you know, sorry, but they don't get anything.
And Mike, you know, the way he was like, oh, I just can't wait to see the 2-minute report. Oh, that 2-minute report.
Yeah.
And so he wakes up today and he sees it and like, it's like, what the heck? Like, I wonder if he'll address that pregame tonight. I'm going to be interested in listening to his pregame press conference and see if he's asked about that or volunteers, you know, just his reaction to that call or no call not being on the 2-minute report.
I wonder if they said it was a correct non-call just because he said, I'm going to check the 2-minute report. If he hadn't said anything.
Right.
Who knows? 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Casey joins us on Sactown Sports. Hello, Casey.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good. What's up, Casey?
So I've been doing some deep dives into all the box scores for the entire season. And what I've come to find out is that, first of all, the fact that we didn't make a move at the trade deadline is unbelievable to me. I know it's been a while since the trade deadline, but I haven't called in since then. The fact that if you look at these numbers, these 4 players I'm going to give you numbers for right now shows you how inconsistent and unreliable our team is, okay? So 3 of our starters start with Herter. 23 games he's played where he scored 9 points or less, and 13 games where he's had 5 points or less. Harrison Barnes, 22 games with 9 or less, 11 games with 5 or less. And Murray's had 15 games of 9 or less and 7 with 5 or less. Okay, those are 3 of our starters that we don't know if we're getting 5 points, 15, 25, 30. And then you have Lyles, who's our second guy off the bench. He's got 20 games of 8 or less, and he has 6 games where he scored 0 points. And these are not games where he's only playing 2 minutes or 3 minutes. He's playing 17, 18 minutes and has 6 games with 0 points. We have 4 guys that are 4 of our top 7 guys that on any given night, we have no idea what they're going to do for us.
Thank you, Casey. Appreciate the research. I think of all those names, Kyle, you know, there's obviously some issues. Barnes has been up and down. Herter has been up and down. Keegan being that inconsistent is the real worry right there.
That's the real worry.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm not sure what's going on. You know, he had that stretch, man, where he was just phenomenal. He was just terrific. But here he is in his second season, averaging 15 points per game, taking 12 shots. You know, the 3-point shooting hasn't come back to what it was, only 35.5% from 3. And I think, you know, when we talk about Monty's offseason plan last year, his plan was for Keegan to take a big leap, I think. And it just hasn't happened. We've seen flashes, but, you know, I got the numbers right here, Whitey. I'm crunching them right here on Basketball Reference. In Keegan's last 9 games, he's averaging 10.4 points per game. That's not going to get it done.
No.
That's your 6-man output, that not your third option or sometimes your second option. And so they got to do a better job of getting him going. He has to do a better job over that 9-game span, 9.2 shot attempts per game, 31% from 3. So he's in a slump right now. I'm going to call it a slump, but they need him in a desperate way to break out of it.
Yeah. And again, do appreciate the research very much. Zadabo joins us on Sactown Sports. Hello, Z. What's up?
Hey, good afternoon, guys. How's it going?
Can I call you Z? Is that okay? Is that allowed if I call you Z?
Hey, I wanted to mention you guys were talking about the refs in the 2-minute drill and how we can help with the
Whoop.
that.
Yep. Sorry. Hello?
I think we need to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I lose you?
Yeah, you're back.
Go ahead,
You're back. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. I was with the refs. I think we need to. I think having a press conference with them and have them talk so the fans can see them as human and they can kind of explain their side instead of being as this just part of the game, this cog in the game. They're not just part of the machine anymore. They're humans trying to do their job, and we'll be more sympathetic toward them and understand where they're coming from. Because the league is just standing behind their calls. They're not going to change it in a 2-minute thing. But if we can make these refs human, I think it helps a lot.
Thank you, Zadabo. Appreciate that.
Well,
what do you think?
I think, to an extent, yes, but, the players got to answer questions after a game. The coaches have to answer questions about what happened, what went wrong. The only people who don't have to answer questions are the officials. And they're great officials. Mike said it yesterday. He knows them well, all great guys, and they are allowed to make mistakes too. They're human, like the caller just said. But man, it would be nice for, somebody to go in afterwards. Hey, what did you see on that Domantas Sabonis Devin Booker play?
Right.
And then let me hear it. I understand afterwards, the 2-minute report calls it marginal. I want to hear from the official after the game. And I don't want it to turn, though, Whitey, into an hour post-game press conference where we nitpick every call or anything like that. Maybe it's, like they do the pool report, but just open it up for a few more people. When there's some controversial calls or it's a clutch situation, you make an official available afterwards.
Would it cause a problem logistically in this sense? Let's say last night the official says, yeah, it was, this is a bad example because they got everything right. But if the official after a game says, well, this is what we saw, and this is what happened, then they have the 2-minute report the next day where the league says, no, they got it wrong. Then it's like, well, then everybody looks worse, right? Because the official told us this, and now the league's telling us this.
Right.
Would that just create more problems?
Well, that's why you need to get rid of the 2-minute report.
Yeah.
It doesn't help anything, and like if I'm a fan, let's say, and they came out today and said, yep, we missed that Devin Booker call. Are we feeling better about that? Not really. We feel like we got screwed even more. Like, see, I told you. And now the fact that they said they feel like they got it right, to me, that makes them look even worse because, that's basketball 101, what we saw last night. And I don't know, man. I don't know the answer to it. I do feel like the league has an officiating problem from this standpoint, Whitey.
Yep. And
I do think the officials, are at times bad. They make mistakes, but then also the perception as well, too, that, the Lakers are going to get the calls.
Yep.
The Stars are going to, they have an issue, and I think they need to address that.
Yes, and when we come back, Drapes will address where the Kings can go from here. Also, speaking of player moves, who leaked the Warriors wanted LeBron story and why? Next here with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
The only place you'll find Kevin Herter is Sactown Sports.
Herter's open, steps into 3. He's got the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Kevin Herter, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
I like daffodils, tulips, the big dinner plate dahlias. I loved being in the garden, but I wasn't going to be able to because I couldn't not only walk, but I couldn't really stand on my foot without being in pain. It was excruciating. So my husband said, let's go to the Good Feet store.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Terry live the life they love without letting their feet get in the way.
This nice young man said, I think I can help you. He got the arch support and I was fitted. And I kept walking back and forth across the store. And I looked at my husband and burst into tears because it was the first time in a year that I have not had any pain in my foot. I have had no pain since the day I bought him. Now I can do whatever I want. There isn't any place on my property that doesn't have flowers blooming 365 days a year. I still can't believe it. My name is Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
For sore feet, aching back, knee, or hip pain, come to the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, or Vacaville.
Denise has been playing jazz for 40 years. Last concert, one of the musicians fell sick with RSV. Respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, is a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems. This time, she's choosing to help protect herself with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo. Abrysvo is a vaccine for the prevention of lower respiratory tract disease caused by respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, in adults 60 years of age and older. Abrysvo is not for everyone and may not protect all who receive the vaccine. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its ingredients. People with a weakened immune system may have a decreased response to Abrysvo. The most common side effects are tiredness, headache, pain at the injection site, and muscle pain. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrysvo.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Hagen Oaks is introducing the newly designed Callaway Chrome Tour line of golf balls, offering outstanding tour performance. From cover to core, Chrome Tour is the new gold standard tour ball for players who want the best in distance and feel. Chrome Tour is engineered for outstanding performance with exceptional speed, consistent flight, incredible spin, and greenside control. Ask about the full line of Callaway Chrome Tour golf balls at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Drapes, Kyle Draper here for Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. You know, I'm loving my new EQS SUV. It's the most amazing car I've ever had. In fact, when I'm on the road with the Kings, I can't wait to come back just to hop in that EQS SUV. It's lovely. Now, if you've been on the fence about purchasing your first fully electric vehicle, I'll just say this. Schedule a test drive and see for yourself what makes these vehicles so incredible. Right now, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is offering up to $10,000 in incentives on new 2023 and 2024 Mercedes-Benz electric vehicles. You'll also receive a wall box home charger and 2 years of prepaid vehicle maintenance if you purchase or lease any Mercedes-Benz electric model. So head on over to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, just 30 minutes from Sacramento, right off I-5, online at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
No fees on all Kings tickets happening now. You can experience Sacramento Kings basketball live with no fees on all remaining games. Watch as the Kings take on the top teams in both conferences, including big matchups against the Bucks, Lakers, Knicks, Clippers, and more. Score big on tickets and cheer on the Beam team as they make a push for the playoffs. Don't miss out. This limited time offer is only valid until February 20th. Visit kings.com/no fees to take advantage of this deal today.
Maida Chevy has 2.9% APR financing on every new 2020 Ford half-ton Silverado in stock. 2.9 for 72 plus great Maida Chevy savings on new Silverado. Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's try.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
By the way, if you watched the Kings last night and you thought you saw, with about 24 seconds to go in the game, you thought you saw Devin Booker jump in the air and fall, on Domantas Sabonis. Apparently, we didn't see that. The 2-minute report came out and said incidental contact. I mean, he jumped. I thought he jumped in there and landed on him. So were we all hallucinating? I don't know. Now, we've been talking about this, Kyle Draper and I, Whitey Gleason, and, we're not saying that the officiating cost the Kings a game or anything, but still, at the same time, it's like, well, come on. That was a foul. Right. If you're not even going to acknowledge that, what are we doing here? So that's the word on the 2-minute report. Also, the 2-minute report said, yes, when Keegan, there was a lot of confusion over that call because on TV, at first they said Malik Monk grabbed the jersey, but that foul with 18 seconds to go before the ball was inbounded. Yeah, the league said, oh, yeah, that was a foul on Keegan. So here we are, onward and upward, Denver tonight, which is where Kyle Draper is.
Yeah, I'm excited for tonight's game. I do want to make one quick point about that Keegan play. You can't do that.
Right.
You can't. I mean,
right.
It was the correct call. I'm not saying it wasn't the correct call. Anytime you grab a jersey, it's going to be called. But to grab it and the ball had not yet been inbounded yet, they get the free throw and the ball back. You just can't do that. Especially Devin Booker is going away from the basket, Whitey.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be different if he's cutting in for a layup or something and you got to commit a foul. He was going away from the basket. And so I thought that was a bad foul by Keegan last night.
I did too. Like I said, some of the mistakes the Kings made, and Domas's inability to box out after Booker's missed free throw, those bothered me more than the incorrect calls. But, there's still something about the NBA saying, what you saw, you didn't really see. It's just it's kind of hard to fathom. Now, you said something today on Drape's Takes about how you think, and I think you speak for a lot of people here, including me, said, wow, it'd be nice if the Kings could do something with the roster. What at this point can be done and win?
Yeah, we had this conversation, about the buyout market and who's out there, I think maybe a guy like I mentioned it yesterday too. Marcus Morris, I think could help this team. He's not a guy that's going to play every night. He's not a guy that's going to play 20 minutes per game or anything like that. But last night they could have used another guy out there, a guy that can, shoot the ball, a guy that can, at least play a little bit of defense. And so I just think overall you need to upgrade. And I said this last year. You got to upgrade the talent, right? You just got to, that's what Denver did over time. They just constantly upgraded, and I think that's what this Kings team needs. I mentioned Marcus Morris. I don't know who else they can go out there and get. Like Korkmaz doesn't do it for me. Court Joseph, Fournier, none of them. But Marcus Morris does intrigue me a little bit. And so, let me ask you this too. I guess we already got Malik. But the Lakers getting Spencer Dinwiddie, man, that's a big time piece.
I know.
That dude can score the basketball. I know he sort of plays that same position as Malik, and so we don't necessarily need it. But I'm like, how can the Lakers get people? How can the Suns get people? And how come we can't get somebody? And so I'm a little frustrated. I don't know who the answer is, but I would take a flyer on Marcus Morris. I really would.
One of the things that concerns me is I've seen this happen really more in baseball than in basketball, but sometimes a team knows when they could use help. It's like, we're hanging on here, we're fighting. Hey, can you get us some help? I think Mike Brown, in some ways, with his things he's been saying to the media, has been asking for some help, which, you're still limited by what's out there, what it costs and all that. I agree. But sometimes it's for the team, that's a tough pill to swallow. Like, who's coming? Nobody. Oh, okay, great. So, you're professional, you got to move on. I know, but there's a lot of people feeling like that. And then it was even harder to stomach after last night when Royce O'Neal clearly was a guy that helped the Suns and the Kings without Trey Lyles. It was even more dramatic that, they could use some help.
Yeah. And, like I said, I was out on Royce O'Neal because I wasn't seeing the bigger picture, Whitey. I'm thinking of, all right, who's going to start? Who, are they going to get a 25 point per game? Like Royce O'Neal can be a solid reserve on this team. He doesn't have to come out, sort of like he is with Phoenix last night. He came out last night. He actually played a lot of minutes. He played close to 30 minutes last night, plus 13, 9 points, 5 assists as well, 4 steals. Like, give me that off the bench, somebody like that. And I thought he played a lot, because they went small, obviously. But, a shot maker, like he had a big 3 down the stretch there, man. And we could use somebody like that. I think when you look at the Kings roster, we need more depth. Like with Trey Lyles out last night, with Sasha out, Mike really didn't have a whole lot he could turn to from an offensive standpoint. You know, the guys he turned to outside of Malik were defensive, you know, that they make their bones on the defensive end. And so, no, I just think they need to upgrade the roster, you know, over time. Maybe it's Marcus Morris in the bio. Maybe it's this offseason, but something has to get done.
And a big part of the equation, of course, is a guy like Dinwiddie in the buyout market. A guy he doesn't have to go anywhere. You can't trade him. So, you know, that is an advantage for a team like the Lakers and probably the Suns too over a team like the Kings, right? You know, they're just it's more of a destination.
Yeah, more ready to win a championship right now, you know, that kind of thing. I get it. And so it's just frustrating, man, you know, because this team needs some help. And, you know, I didn't mention this in a text to you earlier, but De'Aaron Fox talked about the difference between last year and this year. And I thought it was interesting because, you know, last year it was all sunshine and rainbows. This year, it's hard, man. They're struggling right now. Same record pretty much, but now you're in 8th place.
I know.
Like, how worried are we, Sacramento Kings fans, that this is going to be a play-in team?
I know. If only
what happened. Yeah.
If only this year it happened last year. And you know, that would have been great, right? And then last year would have happened this year. By the way, speaking of moves, how surprised were you? I was surprised to read that the Warriors, right before the deadline, they were talking to the Lakers and they were trying to find out whether they could offer a package to LA for LeBron James. And Jeannie Buss says, well, I think he's happy here, but you'll have to talk to his agent, which tells you where everything is right now. And LeBron and his agent, Rich Paul, they said, no, we're good here. But it's being reported today. The Warriors made a play for LeBron.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
That reeks of desperation, right? That reeks of, you know what? Nothing else is happening. We can't get anybody else. Let's take this Hail Mary. Let's take this moonshot and try to get LeBron James. It would be ugly if he got there, though. Like, I would just be like, no, Steph and LeBron on the same team. Oh my gosh. But you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, I guess. And what if LeBron said, sure, yeah, I would like that. That would have been massive.
It's just like, that's not right.
Right.
Do that.
Right. Exactly. But man, I was watching NBA Today, and that's all they talked about for an hour, basically. Is like LeBron's future. Imagine him and Steph together. That would have shaken up the NBA. Fortunately for Sacramento, it did not happen. But to me, like I said, that reeks of desperation. That reeks of a team that realizes, you know what, our window is closed, and we need to somehow prop it back open, kick it back open.
I'm wondering where this came from, who released it, and it's got to be LeBron, right? Because now it makes it look like, the teams wanted me, but I wanted to stay here, or the Lakers, because for them it's like, teams wanted LeBron, but LeBron is committed to us, so there's no way the Lakers would leak this. So it's got to be LeBron, maybe LeBron and the Lakers, letting everyone know that this went down.
Yeah. You think it's LeBron's side, or is it the Lakers' side? Is it Jeannie Buss in them? Somebody within the organization putting that out there to sort of back LeBron into a corner to an extent and say, you know what, he wants to be here. He's not going anywhere. Like, I don't know why LeBron's camp, would do that. Was it Draymond? Like, I don't know. I don't know who would leak it, but it's fascinating to me that, arguably two of the top 5, top 10 players ever to play could be on the same team after all those years of battling each other. That would have been massive.
Coming up about 10 minutes or so, Scott Hastings is going to join us, Nuggets analyst. But up next, this is really bothering me today. I didn't think it would happen. I didn't know it would bother me. Steve Wilks,
I've been waiting on this topic, Whitey. I'm ready, baby.
Yeah.
Let's get it on. I'm ready.
Next with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-583-5795. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
0 down with approved credit.
It seems like everywhere you look right now, someone is sick. This year, prepare your family for airborne invaders like bacteria, pollen, and yes, germs with Navage Nasal Care. Navage flushes ultra-pure, refreshing saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out of the other nostril. Navage sucks out viruses, dust, and other airborne particles, all the stuff that gets trapped in your nose, making you miserable. Don't get caught empty-handed this winter. Get Navage, the drug-free solution that helps you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. Even better, Navage is HSA, FSA eligible, so Navage is a great way to spend those funds before they expire. Don't wait a minute longer. Buy Navage today and you'll breathe easier knowing you're putting your funds to good use. Navage is available online at Navage.com or Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Hagen Oaks is introducing the hot new Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke line of drivers, fairways, hybrids, and iron sets that are sweeter from every spot. AI Smoke is designed with thousands of real player data and a revolutionary new AI Smart Face for sweet spots across the entire face. Ask about the full line of Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke woods and irons and find your sweet spot at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
Local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Unfortunately, we got another grim reminder of how little sports really does matter today. The Chiefs victory parade marred by a death, shooting, 15 injured, 1 dead, 3 in critical condition, 2 people in custody. Just horrific circumstances. Ruining, obviously, a lot more than a parade today in Kansas City. So, for what it's worth, all our prayers to everybody and well wishes to everybody in Kansas City, Chiefs fans or not. That said, interesting 49er news today. Kyle Draper in Denver, Whitey Gleason here in Sacramento. I guess I should have known this was coming, Kyle, but I was still a little surprised. Steve Wilks out. He's gone. Yeah. Steve Wilks fired. Well, actually, what Kyle Shanahan said, and we have Kyle Shanahan's statement right here, says they agreed to part ways. Here's Kyle Shanahan on the move.
I know we got together yesterday, but there's a couple things yesterday that wasn't ready to talk about yet because I wasn't sure which direction I was going to go. But I'm sleeping on this for a few nights and trying to come up with a few tough decisions. But this morning I relieved Steve Wilks of his duties. Going to end up making a change here, defensive coordinator. And really tough decision because really says nothing about Steve as a man or as a football coach. I mean, he's exactly what we wanted as a man. He is a great football coach. But just where we're going and where we're at with our team from a scheme standpoint and things like that, looking through it all throughout the year to these last few days, felt pretty strongly that this was a decision that was best for our organization. And even though it was one I didn't want to make, it was something that once I realized that I think a different direction is what's best for our organization, then it's something that I have to do. So I let him know this morning, and I know I wasn't able to let you guys know yesterday because I wasn't sure about it yesterday. But I am now, and that's the case, and I want to let you guys know firsthand.
Hard decision in Kyle Draper. Obviously, it doesn't look good.
Does not look good, and there's so many levels and layers I want to go with this. First of all, it seems to me like Steve Wilks is being made the scapegoat for the Niners' shortcomings this season and for not getting it done. And I'll tell you, Whitey, and you know, Jay's there as well. You know, if he wants to weigh in, I watched the Super Bowl and I sat there in the first half and I thought Steve Wilks is doing a hell of a job. Like I thought, you know, Steve Wilks and that defense did great. And then in the second half, obviously there were some changes that were made, some calls I didn't agree with. But, you know, I didn't think defense necessarily was the reason that they lost the game. I mean, you played a Super Bowl in which your offense only scored 19 points in regulation. Where was the offense? Where was the second half offense? You know, like, and it to me, and you know, I read this article on ESPN that they wrote, and when Shanahan talked about, you know, he wanted sort of the same system that Saleh had run, that DeMeco Ryans had run, and that it was going to be a challenge for Steve Wilks because that wasn't his system. Well, why'd you hire the man in the first place?
That's a great question,
right?
That's
like,
a great question.
So ultimately, you know, to me, if Steve Wilks is going to be the scapegoat, then Kyle Shanahan should be the scapegoat for the 28-3 debacle against the Patriots back in the Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan should be the scapegoat for this past weekend when the offense petered out and only scored 19 points in regulation, 22. In today's NFL, 22 points is not a lot of points. And so you're the you can't fire the offensive coordinator, I guess, right? Kyle, I don't know. This is a scapegoat move. And, you know, and I understand Steve Wilks had his shortcomings. The defense was up and down, but you shouldn't have put Steve in this position in the first place then.
I agree with you. It didn't help him either that Bosa said this after the game. This is a quote. He said, "The zone read got us a couple of times. We could have been more prepared there. We have to know in crucial situations who's going to have the ball. Obviously, it's him." He's talking about Mahomes. He had a scramble down the middle on that last drive. Obviously, we could get them back. We would have been if we would have been more prepared. So, I mean, Bosa took shots, undermined the coordinator on top of everything else. I'm not saying that's why he was fired, but that certainly didn't help. I agree with you, and Jay and I were just talking about this. They shouldn't have ever hired Steve Wilks, you know, and he was in the booth, and they brought him down from the booth. The statistics were down this year defensively. He had no chance, and I agree with you. They should have never hired him in the first place.
Yeah, I completely. Oh, I was going to say completely agree. I think I echo what both of you guys are saying. You know, we've talked about Steve Wilks ad nauseum here. Especially when Whitey, as you just touched on it, where it went from he was up in the booth to now he needs to be on the sideline. And you know, Steve came out with some erroneous, you know, reason why he came down to the sideline. Well, we all knew, point blank period. Yeah. Fred Warner and Greenlaw and a couple of those guys pretty much said that, you know, we feed off that. We wanted that. We wanted to have someone, you know, eye to eye contact. And so I'm with you. I think it's one of those things where, you know, he probably shouldn't have been hired. This wasn't his scheme. He kind of came in to fit in. Right. And the other part of that too, Drapes, is something that, you know, you kind of touched on as well, is I thought the Super Bowl was one of his best games of the season.
That's what I'm saying.
I
Exactly.
truly do. But I also, on the opposite side, that kind of lets me know, and the fact that they kind of got there despite him in many ways as well, too. And so I think the writing was on the wall.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think that Shanahan was, well, I don't think he ever really had faith in Wilks and believed in him. But as overall, the defense played well in the Super Bowl, but I don't think they were happy with the way the defense finished on that last drive. And the thing that bothers me the most is, Steve Wilks was the coach of the Arizona Cardinals. He was there a year. They weren't good. And they fired him after 1 year because they brought in Kingsbury and they brought in, Murray.
Yeah.
And that was not fair. It's like, man, guy he was there 1 year. So then I just feel like I understand what went into this. And there was no way. It's kind of like with the Jimmy G thing. He was never Kyle's guy, and Kyle's just not. He's going to make a move, but it's just really unfortunate because Steve Wilks did do some good things. This was a bad fit, and the look now is like they're pointing the finger. Well, that's why we lost the Super Bowl, and that's very unfortunate, and it's not fair.
You know what, guys? And this, I defended Shanahan, Kyle, the last couple of days, but I'm starting to question: is he the guy? I really am, because if you want to blame it on Steve Wilks, okay. I get it. But to fire the man after 1 year tells me you made a mistake hiring him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so here you have this Maserati, this Porsche of a defense, and you hire a bus driver basically to come drive. You know what I mean? Like you got
a regional transit guy.
Yeah, right. You got the train conductor to come and drive it. And so who's ultimately, it comes down to Kyle Shanahan, because he's the CEO. He's the guy running the organization in terms of, what we see on the field. He brought in Steve Wilks. I think, you know what? I gave him a pass the other day, but I'm going to have to take that back now, because to me, by getting rid of Steve Wilks and admitting that Steve wasn't this system guy that you brought him in to be, that shows me you made a mistake. And Niners fans, I don't know how we feel, but you scored 19 points in the regulation in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be some offensive genius. You're supposed to be some offensive guru. And you only scored 19 points? And I understand the Chiefs' defense is good. I understand they're real good. But you scored 0 in the third. You scored 9 points in the fourth quarter. You scored 1 touchdown in the second half. Come on.
You know what the perfect solution to all this is? And it's not going to help Steve Wilks.
Yeah.
But the 49ers have run kind of a cover 3 of Seattle system, and that wasn't Steve Wilks' defense. It wasn't his system.
Right. Yeah.
But there is a guy who's available now, if I'm not mistaken, who's pretty familiar with the Seattle system. Pete Carroll. Bring in Pete. Defensive coordinator Pete Carroll returning to San Francisco. That'll never happen.
It's funny you say that, because when you really sit down and look around, there are some defensive-minded guys.
Yeah.
Vrabel's out there. A lot of
Belichick's
people.
A pretty good defensive coordinator.
I mean, I think, and Drapes, I think you're spot on, and you're saying what some of the detractors of Shanahan is saying is, when you really sit down and look, the one common key to all the losses for the 49ers in the big games is Shanahan. And 9 times out of 10, it's the offense, or it's a move. And I said it yesterday. You didn't pull the string on this play or that drive, or you missed opportunity to save some time here, or you got too stagnant there. You got too conservative, during this half. It's always based around Shanahan. And the move of hiring Steve Wilks, and of course, Saleh and DeMeco Ryans and those guys moving on, you can't do nothing about that. I'm pretty sure he would love to, retain those guys. But the fact that you tried to slip a square peg into a round hole, and now you're backpedaling, it is on you.
Yeah, they'll probably have to hire somebody in-house.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the only counter to we fired this guy because he's not a good fit. Well, then you better bring
or a
somebody
big
in.
name.
Yeah, well,
or a big name.
Maybe if it's
but then a big name, Shanahan's looking over his shoulder.
Yeah,
and I can't see Vrabel or Belichick coming in and just taking orders from Kyle Shanahan. I just can't see it.
Right, but Pete will do it.
Which may say he's growing. Which may say Shanahan he's developed some growth there.
We take a quick timeout. We've got Scott Hastings, Nuggets TV analyst, coming up. How healthy are the Nuggets tonight? Why, that's a good question. Next with Scott Hastings, Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
And Logan Ryan picks him up. Looks like they're playing man. LaPorte is over there as well. It's 5 out. It's empty on 4th down. Goff back. Not going to get out to his right. Being chased. Throws, and it is incomplete. The 49ers take over on 4th down again.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Whether you prefer thrills or serenity, the 2024 Accord from Elk Grove Honda delivers both. With Honda Sensing Standard, the 2024 Accord is once again a winner of the 2024 Car and Driver's 10 Best Cars, making Honda the winningest brand in car and driver award history. Drive a 2024 Accord Hybrid and see for yourself what the fuss is all about. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
The Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Kings need a win. They're in Denver tonight. Kyle Draper's in Denver now, and so is our next guest, of course. Outstanding Nuggets TV analyst, talk show host, 11-year NBA veteran, Scott Hastings with us. Scott, thank you so much for your time. If I may, sir, I want to start out with a kind of a silly question today. Since it's Valentine's Day and you play 11 years in the league, you're a very physical player. What opponent that you played against is least likely to send Scott Hastings a Valentine's card today?
Well, I can tell you a funny.
Oh, did we lose Scott Hastings?
Love the story.
Yeah.
Yes,
sir. Go ahead. We're having a little bit of an issue. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah. Are we good, Jay? Yeah, we're good. Go ahead, sir.
All right. So these two gentlemen that are involved in the story have both passed away, and one of them was an outstanding human being. But I was talking to Craig Sager one time. We were partners in a little sports bar in Atlanta. And he goes, man, what did you do to Daryl Dawkins? And I go, what do you mean? He goes, well, I was talking to him, and he was asking, I said him at the bar, and I mentioned your name, and he said, man, if I knew where he kept his money, I'd go there and burn every single dollar he had, because I hate that guy. Wow. So probably if Daryl was still alive, I don't know if we would have made up by now or not, but I think I'm not sure Daryl liked me much.
That's a great story. Scott, is Kyle Draper. How would you fit in today's game with a lot of buddy ball, everybody shaking and kissing after games? How would you fit in today's game?
Well, I'd probably make a lot more money and have better numbers on my stat card. To be honest with you, you got a guy there in Sacramento that I think I'd probably play a little bit like, but I'd be right-handed. The funny thing is, when I got out of college, and I remember sitting down with Johnny Bach, he was one of the few guys, he was with Golden State.
Yeah.
Came to talk to me, and he goes, Scott, the only knock we have on you guys is that you might be a little bit of a finesse player. and you like to shoot jumpers, and, we'd like to see you rebound a little more. And I'm like, well, I averaged 8.6 rebounds. I also had two guards on that team by the name of Darrell Walker and Alvin Robertson, and those two guys averaged over 6 rebounds a game each also. And I'm like, well, I'm getting as many as I can. Them two guys want to get it so they can go down and shoot a layup. But, yeah, I was considered a finesse guy in college, and I realized real quickly my rookie year in New York playing for Hubie Brown that their ideas of 6'10", 240-pound guys wasn't back screening and stepping out to shoot a jump shot. It was kind of pounding people. And so I figured I had two choices, digging ditches, or three choices, digging ditches, hauling sheetrock, or trying to be a tough guy in the NBA. And the NBA at that time paid a little better.
Nice. Scott Hastings with us. People, you mentioned Domas, and people here talk a lot about how he's, he doesn't seem to get the recognition he deserves, the credit he deserves. Can we say the same thing about Jamal Murray? I know he's a different kind of player, but he seems to me to be vastly underrated.
Well, there was an article I read in The Athletic today. He averaged, 26, 6 and 5, or 26, 5 and 6 in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
They win an NBA championship, and everybody tends to forget about that.
Yeah.
He's kind of the heart and soul of the Nuggets team, and doesn't look like he's going to play tonight, but he's kind of that heart and soul guy for the Nuggets team. And they miss a lot when he's gone. But I think it's, it's a bonus, maybe a little bit like that in the sense that what Fox brings every night is so louder, right? I mean, it's now he's making threes. Remember, he couldn't shoot his first couple years in the league. Now he's making threes, and he's still one of the fastest guys in the league, and he's a great finisher, and he plays a loud game. And Sabonis just gets you double-doubles every night. Oh, here, by the way, let me throw a triple-double tonight because we're making shots. He may always be like that. I tell you what, he'll play 15 years like that, and he'll make a whole lot of money like that. And I know this. There's talking heads like us, that do talk radio shows and everything else, lose sight of guys like this. I would tell you this, and Nikola Jokic, for a guy who's won 2 MVPs and a finals MVP, it is underappreciated by the rest of the league also. They think, it's just numbers, it's just whatever. But listen, I love Sabonis. When you guys got Sabonis from that trade in Indy, I went, oh, man. That was legit trade. He's one of my favorite players. Fox is one of my favorite players. I love what you guys are doing. Mike Brown, he and I used to hang out. When he started in Denver, I was still calling the games, and he was the video coordinator for the Nuggets.
Wow.
And so we hung out. In fact, he was, I believe, working for the team in that 94 season where the first time an 8 beat a number 1. He was the video guy, I think, on that squad. So I like everything you guys do. You seem to be doing it the right way, and I know if Mike Brown stays there, that franchise will do it the right way, in my opinion.
Good stuff from Scott Hastings right there, 11-year NBA vet. You can hear him on the Nuggets broadcast. Scott, when you look at where your team is right now, we got the All-Star break. I maintain when I look at my Sacramento Kings, the All-Star break can't come soon enough. Do you feel like you guys need a break right now to get healthy, to get regroup and get set for that stretch run?
Well, basically, for the third game in a row, we're going to be playing without 40% of our starting lineup. And the success of this team, and probably even in the postseason last year, is the starters, when they're all together and their minutes are up and everything's going good, they're as good of a starting five, as cohesive of a starting five as anybody. And if there's been a weak part of this team in the first 50-some games, it's that the bench is not developed. You got a lot of young guys, that you're trying to, bring along. You're trying to get Strother to get the confidence, Peyton Watson to get confidence, Christian Brown doing what Christian Brown does without Bruce Brown beside him. And it's a true work in progress, but you're fortunate you can survive it because you got a starting five. Well, when you lose tonight, it looks like Jamal Murray and KCP out again. That means you got to move guys up. In Milwaukee the other day, your backup point guard was a two-way player. And that's no knock on Colin Gillespie, but there's a big difference between NBA, point guards, NBA backup point guards, and two-way players with the G League. That's a leap. right? That's a big leap. So it's good for experience. I'm with you guys. My freshman year of college, we're running wind sprints after one of our first practices, right? And, I'm coming from high school where you might run one or two. Well, we ran about 30 minutes of these wind sprints. And I run the first one, I almost win. And then one other group goes, okay, first we're back on the line. I'm going, what? Run another one. And I'm slowly just dying and getting slower. And I went from first or second to fourth or fifth to seventh to last. I'm dead by the end of the time we're running it. And one of the assistant coaches go, it looks like Scott spent all of his money at the first candy store. And I look at Denver beat the Lakers before we played you guys in a back-to-back. And it was an emotional game. It's Kobe Bryant night. The Lakers and Denver have a little history now with sweeping them in the postseason last year. And so it was a mostly filled game. Well, since then, it's like they spent all their money in the last game in that candy store because they didn't have much in Sacramento, didn't have much in Milwaukee. Let's see if they can find, just enough for one more game to get to that All-Star break.
Scott Hastings is with us. And as you say, obviously, the calculus changes if you don't have your starting guards. And you explained some of this with your answer there about the last time Denver was here. But Kings have been up and down, but they've played well consistently against Denver. Why have the Kings been such a tricky matchup for the Nuggets?
Well, there's history with our coach and your franchise. There's history with your coach and our coach.
Yeah.
There's history with your point guard and our point guard. And I'm not saying all this is bad history, other than maybe Sacramento Malone. But,
right.
But, when you got a guy from Kentucky playing against a guy from Kentucky, it gives you a little juice. And, I think Sabonis, even though he played college ball here, still kind of considered a Euro, if you will. And you're going against, maybe the top Euro, top big in the league. I think he's always a little extra juice when he plays us. I don't know. And, some teams just play well against other teams, I guess. And I'll be honest with you, Murray said it in an interview with one of the big writers. I read it today, and basically said, man, we're getting everybody's best game right now. And I think that surprised them a little bit because we'll see teams you go and they'll play great. Milwaukee played great against us, and then they lose the next two games. You're like, what? What are you doing? So, and there is something about that. I covered the Broncos for a lot of years, and you win a Super Bowl that next year, every game you play, all 17 weeks, you're playing a Super Bowl game because everybody wants to say they beat the champs. And I think Denver, that's a mental thing because, we're teams, and George Karl used to always say this, there's 5 or 6 times a year that you have no shot, right? There's no shot. They're mentally gone, mentally tired, mentally fatigued. I thought that was that game in Sacramento. I didn't like going into that game. But when you're the champ, that's every night. That is every night. And I think that's where now. I think this is it's a physically tired team, but I think this team tired mentally also in these 6 or 7 days will be really helpful, I think.
Scott Hastings joining us. Scott, often, when we talk about this Kings team, we sort of compare it to Denver a few years ago as Calvin Booth and everybody started building it. Can you speak to the patience the organization had and how they slowly just started adding pieces around Jamal Murray and Jokic, and then finally it pays off? How patient do you think the organization and the fan base had to be as they grew this?
Well, you guys know this with every sport. Every sports league is a copycat to success. And I think not only you guys, look what Oklahoma City's doing. I think San Antonio is going to fall now back into that mode also. So let's draft well, especially when we got these high drafts. Murray was a 7, I think. They got Michael Porter at 14. Joker was, and they got, let's be honest, you get an all-world player at 41. Pretty lucky, right?
Yeah.
Although think about it, San Antonio got Ginobili at number 60. I think or 59 or 60 in that draft. He's a Hall of Fame player. But yeah, I think Sacramento. And listen, you guys have been around that area for a lot longer, covering the game or covering them than I do. But they were an impatient franchise for a bunch of years. After kind of the Weber years, the Adelman coached years, it seems like they lost their way for a while.
Yes.
And it was, let's hurry up and fix this thing quickly. You make a good, solid trade with Sabonis, who's still a young guy, and everything else you got are just solid draft picks. That rookie, I don't remember his name right now, that started in that game the other night. Man, I love that kid. And that's how you do it, because you know what? Now you're going to be in the playoffs for the next 10 years, 12 years. And who knows if a couple of those late first, mid first guys really blow up. I mean, you could vie for a championship. Oklahoma City's in the same boat. I mean, they're drafting well. They've got a lot of draft picks, and it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be real interesting over the next decade, if you will. Watching Sacramento, watching Oklahoma City, watching some of these other teams that are doing it kind of the old-fashioned way, and maybe finally Sacramento's learned its lesson and say, hey, let's grow. Let's get a coach we trust. And I'm telling you, you got a good one in Mike Brown. Let's get a coach we trust, and let's let the team grow with him. And they did that with Malone. I mean, there was rumblings about Malone after getting knocked out of the playoffs a couple years ago, and that was when Murray was hurt. Your second-best player doesn't even play in the playoffs, and they go, well, they should have played better. You played Golden State as well as anybody that year, and they won the championship. I know it was first round, but you played them as well as anybody played them, and you didn't have Jamal Murray. So, yeah, it's good, and I hope this is a trend that sticks. Not every team and not every fan base has that, or an ownership group that has it. I think the Cronkies that own the Broncos or the Nuggets, they get it, and they want long-term success, and they've been patient. They've done it the right way.
Well, Keegan Murray appreciates the kind words, Scott Hastings, and we very much appreciate your time.
That's his name. Hey, I'm telling you what, man, I love that cat.
Yeah.
I forgot Murray. That's right. That guy can play, man. Man, I'm gonna tell you, he's the prototype of what every team is looking for. 6'6", 6'8", long, lanky, can shoot it. Man, I love that kid.
He's a good one. Thank you, Scott. We can't tell you how much we appreciate your time. Enjoy the game tonight. Enjoy the break. We hope to talk to you again soon.
All right, my friends. We'll talk to you later.
All right, Scott. Take care, man. That's good stuff right there.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day from Scott Hastings. We'll take a time out. Coming back with Mike Brown versus the officials, round 2. Who gets the nod this time with the Drive Guys? Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-1748. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-1748. That's 800-575-1748. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Play and win with rewards that soar at Sky River Casino in Elk Grove. Sign up for Sky River Rewards and you'll get $20 free play to use on your first visit. Plus, you'll be the first to know about upcoming special events and offers. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet at Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep Ram, and Woodland. What's happening for Chrysler's President's Day sale?
I haven't been this excited about a deal in a long time. Right now, you can save $18,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Jeep Gladiator EcoDiesels. This thing can get up to 28 miles per gallon on the highway, and it's the perfect combination of off-road fun and work truck.
And you're selling them with an $18K discount? That seems a little crazy.
Well, we do things a little different here at Hoblet. We're here to help you find the vehicle you need at the best possible price. That's why we don't have a bunch of dealer markups, surprise add-ons, or fees. At Hoblet, you get the small town experience with the big city savings and selection.
There's no better time to take advantage of the savings at Hoblet. Start your search at HobletDodge.com or stop by for a test drive today at Hoblet Dodge in Woodland. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period. $18,000 net savings after $11,096 factory rebates and $6,904 dealer discounts. Rebates may include $500 first responder bonus cash. Must be current member of eligible first responder association to qualify. 5 at this net savings. Sample VIN 553-385. See dealer for details.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got good news. The American Energy Heat and Air $0 HVAC diagnostic has been extended to February 29th. That's right. It expired at the end of January, but want to give you all an opportunity who missed out to get in. It's a $99 value. All right, it's $100, and right now it's free. I don't know how much easier I can pitch that. Normally $100, now $0. Let the American Energy team test your system, your connections, and all the moving parts of that system to make sure it's functioning properly. And you know who's going to be coming to your home? A group of people that have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. A group of folks that have been making the greater Sacramento area proud since 1981. $0 HVAC diagnostic. Normally a $100 value right now at American Energy Heat and Air. Go to AmericanEnergyAir.com or call them to make your appointment. 916-520-9990.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
Is in Denver getting ready for the Kings and the Nuggets. And we just talked to Scott Hastings, and it turns out the Nuggets are without their two starting guards. Might be they'll be shorthanded tonight, Kyle.
Who's that? Is that Scott Hastings?
That's a dead-on
Is he
Scott
back
Hastings.
on with us?
That is, yeah. He's the best.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I can't remember that dude's name. Yeah, Keegan Murray. That's the dude. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But anyway, looks like they may be without their starting backcourt tonight.
Yeah, exactly. I'm checking the latest injury report. Just came out a few minutes ago. Let's see what we got here. The Denver Nuggets. Both guys still listed as questionable. Jamal Murray and KCP. And remember, we caught them slipping a little bit on Friday. Also, no MPJ, Michael Porter Jr. or KCP last week. And
That's right.
Hey, you know what? I don't care. Get the win. I don't care who's playing. You could bring in Scott Hastings, Bill Hanslick, Alex Ingles. I don't care. I don't care who's on the floor tonight. You remember that?
I do.
I'm going way back, great. But no, this game, I don't care, who's on the floor for for Denver. The Kings need this win, and if they get this win, it's a big win in my opinion. And so, I hope they don't play Jamal Murray and KCP. I will say the Kings did a great job on Murray last week, that Friday game. And so we'll see what happens, man. I'm monitoring the injury report, and as soon as something happens, I'll let you know.
So if Coach Malone is talking to his team tonight, and he has to get them ready to play without their starting guards, who does he tell him's not coming through that door? Does he go, hey, Fat Lever's not coming through that door? Bill Hanslick is not coming through that door tonight, fellas.
Exactly. Fat Lever. Oh, my gosh. We're going back right there. Yeah, exactly. That's the pep talk I'm giving. But they still got the Joker. They still got the Joker, though. He's going to be coming through this door. And so I'm looking forward to that matchup between him and Sabonis. Sabonis got the better of him last week on Friday. And so I'm looking forward to that one tonight.
Is a back-to-back even tougher when you're playing at altitude? I would have to think so.
Yes. And did you? And I wanted to ask Scott this. We didn't have the time, but did you see LeBron's out tonight against Utah? So LeBron James, second night of a back-to-back, not going to play tonight against Utah. And then I forget the guy's name. Tom Haberstroh up there in Portland.
Yeah,
he did a study and he said the two teams that star players sit out the most against are the Utah Jazz and the Denver Nuggets. And I wonder if altitude has something to do with it.
Yeah.
First of all, you had a late game last night in Phoenix. Remember, it was an 8:00 start in Phoenix.
Right.
So we didn't get to the hotel till 2:45 a.m. Denver time. And so I wouldn't be surprised if the guys are gassed a little bit and you're playing at altitude. It would be a tough game tonight.
Woo! Yeah. That's why I say when all the cards, when the deck seems stacked against the Kings, that's when you know they're going to come through when you think there's no way they win tonight. Whoa, what happened? Yeah,
exactly. And I'm excited, man. I hope they win. It's interesting. I'm watching some of the guys warm up. There's 5-on-5 going on right now. And you got Colby Jones, Kessler Edwards out there. You got Chris Duarte out there, and you also have the new guy, Mason Jones, from the Stockton Kings. I guess he flew out, and so he's going through a 5-on-5 workout, and so we might see him tonight at some point.
All right, so at least we know Duarte is available, ready to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's something.
He's looking good. Yep. He's out here. I mean, and it's a full 5-on-5. Like, they're going at it out here. Trey Lyles, questionable, although I did see Trey earlier today. What happens when a guy is sick? They sort of isolate him.
Sure.
They don't want him around none of the players, don't want him around anybody. Trey was around everybody today. So that's an encouraging sign. I hope he gets to play tonight.
Yeah, that reminds me, I may have told this story before. Pardon me if I have, but Harold Presley told me this story. Later in his run as a King, he's playing for Mata, and Mata just wouldn't play him. And so Harold would show up, at the arena game day, and he's like, I got to get my conditioning in. So he's running stairs, up and down the stairs, hours before the game. Then game time starts. Presley, you're guarding Barkley tonight. And he said, Charles, and he said they were running him off screens, and he was getting clobbered. And at one point, Barkley comes by the Kings bench and says, you got to get somebody else in here. I'm killing this guy.
The boy was gassed out there.
Yeah. So hopefully those guys aren't working too hard. Mike Brown complaining about the officiating last night. Kyle, the 2-minute report, however, says, no, nothing to see here. The final 2 minutes were officiated correctly.
Disgusting, if you ask me. Preposterous, if you will.
It is.
Like a clean sheet, basically. Like the final 2 minutes was, officiated 100% correct. And we all saw the no call when Domas got the ball underneath and Devin Booker rode him like he was Seabiscuit there near the basket. And he did. And it should have been a foul. It should have been a whistle. And Mike Brown, it was a tough post-game press conference yesterday because it's like you could see that Mike was visibly and clearly upset about the officiating. He wanted to make it a point. But there were other things we wanted to ask him about, throughout the game. But it felt like the main central theme was the officiating late in that game was frustrating. And so we'll see, man. I can't wait to hear his pregame press conference today. Hopefully he addresses the 2-minute report, because my thing is, if you're going to have the 2-minute report and still not get it right, why do we even have it, man?
Yeah.
You know, I say get rid of the 2-minute report. And I know everybody will say, oh, see, NBA's trying to cover up something. I don't know. It's, you know what they need to do?
I honestly don't.
No. Instead of just the 2-minute report, and I know they showed a video. You click on the 2-minute report, you click on the play at hand. They showed a video. Have an official actually break down what they're seeing. You know, play by play, frame by frame. Like, all right, here's what happened, and they should have the official that was closest to the play or the official that made the call or didn't make the call narrate it and explain what they saw.
It's something. Yeah. I mean, we need to do something. We saw something last night. We all saw it. No one's talking about it. Maybe we need to talk about it next with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Harrison Barnes plays here.
Harrison Barnes drives it, hammers it. The Black Falcon soaring into the night sky on a Monday evening in Northern California.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. We'll see occasional rain as we go through the night tonight. All of this will clear out overnight. Tomorrow will be a dry day, partly cloudy with highs around 60. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA 3 app.
The recent storm has caused dangerous driving conditions for us. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down. Be alert and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kyle Draper here for Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Now, I took the half-hour drive to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, and I came home with the finest car I've ever owned. I'm rocking that brand new EQS SUV they outfitted me with, and it's stylish and so comfortable. I love Mercedes cars. Also, Mercedes builds amazing commercial vehicles. Now, if you own a business, Mercedes builds commercial vans capable of any job. And with special interest rates as low as 4.9% on new Sprinter vans, plus the available tax breaks on Sprinter vans for commercial use, choosing a Mercedes van is a smart move. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton has a huge full-service commercial fleet center. Go see my good friends at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Just a half-hour drive down I-5 from Sac, and it's online all the time at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Hey, Jess, want to come for a ride on my motorcycle? We can talk about our feelings and explore our emotional compatibility.
I thought you'd never ask.
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive, and you could use the savings to make sure the motorcycle is always ready for your dream girl. So keep the dream alive and the savings coming with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Brakes? We can save you 15% on that. We have OE quality Duralast brake pads and rotors in stock, ready for pickup or delivery. We also have calipers, brake fluid, tools, and anything else you'll need to do the job right. When you get Duralast pads and rotors together, you'll save 15%. It's just part of what makes us America's #1 brakes destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and me the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Jiffy Lube, your place for oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. Hey, for valuable coupons and a location near you, visit jiffylube.com.
Toyota's President's Day sales event ends Monday. Now is your chance to experience legendary Toyota reliability on cars, trucks, and SUVs. Save big with these President's Day deals. Right now, get $1,000 bonus cash when you lease a 2024 Camry. Or when you finance with Toyota, get $1,000 bonus cash on the all-new 2024 Grand Highlander gas model. Hurry in. Toyota's President's Day sales event ends Monday. Toyota, let's go places. Offer available through TFS to buyers with premium rated credit. Excludes hybrids and 3/4/24.
Plantar fasciitis feels like pointed, sharp pain, very intense. Can make your eyes water. It makes you walk funny because you're trying to get pressure off your heel. I had instability. I was so frustrated. I didn't know what to do. And I was driving past the Good Feet store. I mean, why not? Give it a try.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure they fitted me with the right thing. And so they brought out several different arch supports and gave me the opportunity to try them in shoes and walk around with them until they found the perfect ones for my feet. I had no idea that they would be that patient, and I had no idea they would be that kind. And you just knew, like, your feet, just when they got on the right ones, they were like, oh yeah. And it really did make a big difference. It made my foot not hurt. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
Smartest listeners and radio weighing in here as we get ready for the Kings and the Nuggets. Manny Too Legit on the YouTube chat says today should be winnable, hopefully. Ryan Williams Art. The 2-minute report is like the legislature voting to raise their own salaries. What's the point? Yes,
That's
really,
a good,
brilliant.
Good point. That's
Yeah.
a good point there.
The end says Denver is not going to just lay down with 2 players out. Get ready for 48 minutes. And then your buddy Campio, he's playing that Nuggets random recall roll call. We've been talking about Bill Hanslick and Fat Lever. He comes up with just Alex English. The great Alex English.
Good job, Campio.
Yeah.
Good
Alex English played, there's a movie, I think, Amazing Grace and Chuck. And he played a Boston Celtic in the movie. It was just a character. And I remember at the time, Julius Erving saying, I would never play a Boston Celtic, even a movie. I don't care what it is. I'm never going to wear a Boston Celtics uniform.
Back when rivalries were real. Like there was some real hatred back in the day. Oh,
yeah.
man.
Now it's like, give me your jersey now. I'll put it on now, and you can have my jersey. Kumbaya. Yeah.
Exactly.
You were there last night. I don't know if you noticed this, that they made a point of mentioning it on the telecast. Haven't seen anything written about it. There was a point, third or fourth quarter, where Kevin Herter and Coach Brown got into a little bit on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What do you what is that something we need to address? What do you make of that?
I don't think so. I will say, because I know exactly what you're talking about. I witnessed the play. I mean, it was right there in front of me.
Okay.
Mike was upset about a defensive miscue, missed assignment at Kevin Herter. Herter shot back at Mike.
Last season,
Herter went to the bench, and Herter didn't play the rest of the night.
Right.
Yeah, he was done for the night. And so, I mean, things happen. Guys blow up. I'm not going, now if there's some carryover tonight and Herter plays 15 minutes or Mike changes up the starting lineup or whatever it may be. But in the heat of battle, I mean, remember, we saw LeBron give Eric Spoelstra, a shoulder walking back to the bench. And so these things happen. I think what people got to realize, too, is, when you play a sport like this at the highest level, the testosterone is flowing. You're really fired up. The competitive juices come. You want to win so bad. And, sometimes you ain't in the mood to hear what coach got to say.
Right.
And so I don't think we need to get into it a whole lot. I will say, if you remember that OKC game, I think it was, and Katie made a great point recalling this, Domas and Malik, Domas and Trey got into it. Remember?
Yeah.
And so these things happen. It's how you work it out. And we saw earlier this season, Mike Brown and Malik get into it. They addressed it, the next day or whatever. They talked it out. And so I don't think this is anything. Now, if it lingers, if you see something out there tonight, then it becomes an issue. But I don't think it's that big.
So you don't think it's like Travis Kelce bumping Andy Reid? You don't think it's anything like that?
No, it didn't rise to that level. And even Kelce came out.
I know.
And said, yeah, I crossed the line.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens, man. And, I'm going to give them some grace. I'm going to give Kelce some grace. I'm going to give Kevin Herter and Mike Brown some grace.
Yes.
Like these guys, when you're in the foxhole, when you're battling the way you are, emotions are going to run high. And so it happens in the NBA.
It's funny you mentioned Monk and Mike Brown, And for some reason, I just assume when the both of them say, yeah, I yell at him and he yells at me and then we're fine. I believe it.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
The way Monk, and you can tell, like they have their moments and then it really, truly is fine between those two.
Right. And I've seen those guys, needle each other, rib each other. They have a unique relationship. I mean, I've been on the bus where, Malik is like, Mike, let's go. You late. You got to pay up. Like, he'll get on, coach, And Malik is a colorful character, and sometimes he uses colorful language. And so I think they have that kind of relationship that, it's all in love. It's not personal,
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So it's something to keep an eye on anyway. And then Reggie Miller said something about how, I had the sound kind of turned down a little bit, but he said, Mike Brown he had a meeting and he's really laid down the law for Monk and Herter, and they got to be better defensively. And I was like, I haven't heard about anything like that, but that was interesting. But I was wondering if because Mike Brown had gotten into it with Herter a little bit, if that's why after the game he decided, you know what, I'm going to go after the officials tonight. My team just doesn't need. He's not afraid of the players, but maybe the coach felt the team's going through a lot right now. The last thing they need tonight is for me coming after them publicly.
Yeah, exactly. And they know, what happened last night, their shortcomings, what they did wrong, and I like I said, I thought they competed hard, and Mike was, had high praise for his guys actually, and said, he was proud of the way his guys competed, because if you remember during that game, end of the third, beginning of the fourth, Phoenix went on a run. It was 108-100. I'm like, here we go. But then the Kings fought back. And so I don't think it was, anything where, Mike,
right.
When he talked to Herter, he wasn't disappointed or no carryover. I just thought, you know what? I was proud of my guys. We lost this one. I mean, it's funny because when I call the games and do play-by-play, I got the headset on, so I can't hear Mike really, because it's kind of muffled.
Mm-hmm.
But being there and actually hearing him, seeing him, how he interacts with the players, seeing which plays drive him nuts and not. I learned a lot just by sitting there courtside and watching as a fan last night.
So tonight it's the Nuggets, and we know that so far this year anyway, the Kings have had a recipe for deep frying the Nuggets until they're crispy and golden brown, and we'll look at that recipe when we come right back here, Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
3 little words no parent wants to hear.
My tummy hurts.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times. Like in the middle of the morning rush, when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. Pepto Kids gummies help relieve occasional stomach upsets, turning those 3 words into these 3 words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for Pepto Kids gummies. Fast support for little tummies.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If your Medi-Cal is ending, Cover California is here to help. Cover California is a service from the state that helps you get affordable health insurance. In many cases, at no cost to you, just like with Medi-Cal. We have quality health plans, and we'll help you every step of the way to get the one that works for you and your family. So, if you're no longer eligible for Medi-Cal, check out Cover California. We'll keep you covered. Learn more at coveredca.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because no 2 people sleep the same. Only the Sleep Number smart bed lets you each choose your individual firmness and comfort, your Sleep Number setting. The Climate 360 smart bed is so smart, it actively cools or warms up to 13 degrees on either side for your ideal sleep temperature. And now, during our President's Day sale, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery when you add any base. Ends Monday. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABBEL.com.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Welcome to the President's Day sale, happening now at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Celebrate with us and get huge savings on our giant selection. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Number 1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company sold on report.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com. KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Hey, look who has his TV clothes on, huh?
Woo! Your boy is ready.
Jumped in that booth.
Ready. Jumped in that Superman phone booth over here. Actually, just moved over to the side here in the rafters here in the stands and switched it up a little bit. You know?
Yeah.
Get ready.
Yeah. What went into the decision to wear the this outfit tonight?
I usually try on a road trip to at least have one purple, to fully represent the Kings. And I felt like, you know what, this would be, the Phoenix Suns, they got a little bit of purple in there.
Right. That's right.
And so OKC, I thought, this would be a good one to round out the road trip with.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing that killed me about if you remember the play-in, which seems like so long ago now.
Yep.
So many teams had purple on the court, and the Kings were not one of the teams that had the purple. But right? That's just the way Utah did, I think. And as you said, Phoenix. But anyway, onward and upward tonight, the Kings against the Denver Nuggets. Do you want to hear what your favorite instigator has to say on the YouTube chat?
Yeah, what we got?
Ultimate Kingpin, #Brown, get out of town.
Oh, my gosh. We just had Scott Hastings on for 20 minutes telling us we got the right guy. Mike Brown's the guy. And we going to let some Yahoo named Ultimate Kingpin tell us that our coach? Come on. This is America in 2024, man. It's crazy. Ultimate Kingpin knows better than the people who are in charge and the experts.
Manny, too legit. White and Drapes, what are you guys expecting from the guys tonight in this back-to-back game? Think we'll be able to execute to get this win, or will we be too gassed, Drapes?
I don't think we'll be too gassed. I think, this is one of those games where it's the last game before All-Star break. in my mind, you should leave it all on the line, right? Like, because you got a week off. And so, going in on a 3-game losing streak, that would leave a sour taste in my mouth. And so I think the boys will be ready. I'm interested to see De'Aaron Fox because, he laid it on the line last night, had a big game last night. I want him to come out strong and have a big game tonight as well. And obviously the center matchup I'm looking for. I think our guys will be ready. I would love to see Trey Lyles play tonight. I think he is, like I said earlier, he has been around the team. He had that illness, sat out last night, but he's been around the team, was at the meal today and everything. So I think our boys will be ready tonight, man.
Yeah, I think there's a very good chance that the Nuggets will be without their starting backcourt because Jamal Murray, KCP, both, I think at last official note, they were questionable.
Yes.
And, the Nuggets, as Scott Hastings detailed for us when it came on the show, they played so well in that game against the Lakers on national TV, and the Kings knocked them around, and so did the Bucks. So they're looking to get right before the break as well.
Yeah, this is a Nuggets team who had been playing some great basketball before last week or so. They had battled all their way. I think they might have been tied for first at one point, but since they've lost their last two, I think they've dropped back down to fourth, and I think that's a big game for them. Without Jamal Murray and KCP, you're talking about their second best offensive player and arguably their best on-ball perimeter defender, and so this is a huge loss for them. But they're a deep team, man. They got other guys. They got some young guys, Christian Brown, who's out there warming up right now. Peyton Watson. They got some guys, man, and it all flows obviously with Joker. And so, if you could lose to Charlotte, if you could lose to Portland, you could lose to a shorthanded Denver team too.
Yeah, Dan Issel ain't coming through that door though. I'll tell you that.
What about Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf?
Oh, former King and Nugget. Yeah. Man, that guy could shoot.
Well, Robert Pack.
Yeah, Robert Pack. Oh, man, we could do this all day. This got me thinking of the meme and things people put on social media where they say guys could just sit around all day and just say names all day. That's what we're doing right now.
Oh, yeah.
Dikembe Mutombo, Hey, we could just do that for an hour.
No. Let's see here. In both of the Kings' wins so far over the Nuggets, Monk has scored, I think he scored 23 and 26. So that seems to be part of this recipe for frying the Nuggets. The bench has been very productive. Monk has been part of that, but others have scored as well. And then De'Aaron Fox says, I think he had 16 assists the first time and then 10 last week. So those are three things that the Kings have done in both of those games. I don't know how important they are tonight, but those have been some of the keys to beating the Nuggets.
Yeah, and also, look at the 3-point shooting in the two games. Kings shooting better than 48%. The Nuggets only 29.6%.
There you go.
From 3-point range. So I feel like the Kings have done a good job, winning that 3-point battle as well. And so there are a lot of things in the Kings' favor tonight. I mean, shorthanded Denver team. You got this team's number. It seems like, you've been able to figure them out. Think about it. You beat them earlier in the season. Pretty early, and then you just beat them last week too. So it's not like you beat them 2 months ago and now they're a different team or anything like that. You've been able to play well against them, and I feel like Sabonis gets up for this matchup.
Yeah,
I think Scott Hastings mentioned that. I think Domas understands that he's being compared a lot to the Joker, and so I'm looking for a big game from him.
And I don't have the exact numbers here, but they play the Nuggets like 3 times in the next 14 games or something like that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, we come back here in about 2 weeks. It's crazy. And played them Friday, play them tonight, and then I think 2 weeks from today, I think it's a Wednesday, 28th. Yeah, 28th. Yeah, 2 weeks, February 14th. Valentine's Day, G-Man. G-Man just walked up. G-Man, real quick, and I don't have another mic for you just yet, but this has to be, G-Man, the hardest radio location to get to, my friend. It took me like 20 minutes to get up here to find this. I didn't know where you sat. I mean, you got a bird's eye view right here. You got a nice view of the court and everything, but man, how did you get up here?
Elevator. Right over here. It's really not that hard.
You're killing me. I didn't see the elevator.
That's a veteran.
And the escalator wasn't working or anything. I walked up the steps. I was gassed when I got up here, man.
I think I made it in 2 minutes.
Yeah. That's
All
the
right, G-Man.
veteran.
All right.
That's
Thanks
how
for
it's
coming
done.
on the show. Thank you, G-Man.
Thank you, G-Man.
I expected G-Man to walk up here, be all winded, out of breath, like I was, and everything. He's like, no, I just took the elevator right around the corner. I didn't even see it. G-Man. That's good stuff. Good stuff. See, that's why he's a veteran, man. You can learn something from the vets out here.
I know.
Oh,
yes,
my God.
matter of factly. That's how it's done, youngster. Yes.
God, I don't believe that. I literally because they had the escalators, but I got here so early, the escalators weren't working yet. And so I'm like, shoot, I'm gonna have to hoof it up these steps. And sure enough, I did it, but I was gassed. I was sweaty. That's why I had the t-shirt on to start the show, because I knew I'd be sweating up a storm.
How high up are you? Excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but how high up are you?
Hold on, let me see if I can. I'll show you.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Let's see. Yeah.
That's a good shot. That's a good shot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The 50-yard line. You're right at half court.
50-yard line, but I'm bird's eye level with the scoreboard, the jumbo.
Right.
That's when you know you're up.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's getting a little frosty up there, huh? Yeah, for those who can't see here on the YouTube.
I'm already a mile high. We're in Denver, and now I'm like another mile up. It's like, come on, what's going on here?
You know, Denver is they do the last time I've been there, Southwest Airlines or like one of their sponsors. And you know how Golden One, they drop things from the roof. Southwest was one of the sponsors, and they would drop gift cards down at the Ball Arena. And so if you stay up there, which you can't now, but G-Man might be able to reach up and grab a couple little Southwest Airline gift cards.
Yeah. Do you know who
Jay
is
Johnson said they drop Southwest gift cards from the rafters sometimes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
man, if you lay out and get a couple,
Yeah, you
help
know.
your boy out. Right?
You know, our
At least you
mutual
could
friend,
do that for me walking on up these steps like that. My God.
Might need a flight up there next time.
Yeah, the great Chris Watkins used to be one of the people that would drop those things from the Golden One rafters.
Really?
He would be one of the people that would drop those things down.
But they're not dropping Southwest Airline cards, though.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think last time, it was probably a couple of years ago, I went to a Nuggets game out there, and I was surprised. I was like, oh, and they were 100, 200, 500 denominations. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
All right.
Impressive.
I was at a Rivercats game one time, and this guy got a T-shirt. You know, the T-shirt can. This is a long time ago, and he opens a T-shirt. It wasn't even a Rivercats T-shirt. It's like some restaurant or something. It's like I don't
Sponsorship, brother. Advertising.
Sponsorship, right?
What is that? What is that? All right. What's your level of confidence in the Kings tonight, Drapes? Because I've given up. You know, I heard Frankie and Brendan and Styles and Watkins talking today about, you know, pretty soon we're going to know the Kings. And I'm feeling like, I don't know, either we're never going to know them or this is it, that they're up, they're down, and you never know. So I don't know what to expect tonight.
I don't know what to expect either. I mean, let's keep it real. This team is consistently inconsistent. You know, I'm going to say a 7.5. You know, that's how confident I am in tonight. I do think last night left a bad taste in their mouth. I thought they played halfway decent last night. And, you know, ideally going into the All-Star break, you want this team to get this win, because coming off losing 3 in a row, if you go into the All-Star break having lost 3 in a row, you know, you're already in 8th place in the Western Conference. I mean, you know, I said it last week when I was talking to Katie or pre and post game or something. You know, we talk about the stretch run being out after the All-Star break. To me, the stretch run has already begun because this West is so difficult that, you know, you go on a 3-game losing streak, you know, you might be 9th, you know, by the time next week rolls around or something like that. So, I think the team has to respond tonight.
Drapes, how do you lose a game? Not to get bogged down in numbers, but, you know I love box scores more than you, but last night the Kings out-rebounded the Suns 50-39. The Kings got up 95 shots, 10 more than the Suns, and the Kings shot 52% from the floor, only turned it over 13 times, and you know, losing that game, that's hard to do.
Hard to do, yes, but the team made 11 more free throws than you, because everything, the shooting percentages were pretty much, you know, even. You know, the Suns made a few more threes than you. You made some more twos than they did, but you know, it comes down to the line, and I think they gave up 36 points in the fourth quarter.
That's correct.
Allowed the Suns to shoot 60% from the field in the fourth quarter. You know, I've always maintained that as the game goes on, your defense should be getting better. Your defense should be getting stronger. And so to allow them in a crucial, critical fourth quarter to shoot 60%, that's not going to get it done.
Okay, I've got a very it's not a pleasant question, but it must be asked, and I'll ask Kyle Draper when we come right back and wrap things up here. It's a drive, guys, getting you ready for game night and the Kings and the Nuggets on Sactown Sports.
Has Monty put together a roster that can help make a deep playoff run this season?
Just trying to give coach options, give him guys that can help us win in a variety of areas. Obviously, our top guys are going to play every game, but there's going to be other times, whether it's injuries, matchups, we've got to have some variety on the bench for coach to point to and say, go in there and help us win.
Tune into every Kings game this season
on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
The sewer system. It's probably the last thing on your mind, and that's okay. Because at the Sacramento Area Sewer District, it's our first priority. As the region's largest sewer utility, we own and maintain thousands of miles of sewer pipe. And our job is to get to your sewer problem before it interrupts your life. So whether you've got a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night. The Sacramento Area Sewer District. It's a dirty job, but we're happy to do it.
No fees on all Kings tickets happening now. You can experience Sacramento Kings basketball live with no fees on all remaining games. Watch as the Kings take on the top teams in both conferences, including big matchups against the Bucks, Lakers, Knicks, Clippers, and more. Score big on tickets and cheer on the Beam team as they make a push for the playoffs. Don't miss out. This limited time offer is only valid until February 20th. Visit kings.com/no fees to take advantage of this deal today.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
I've got a difficult question for you, Kyle Draper, if I may. Drapes is in Denver. Check him out tonight. Of course, he's play-by-play for the Nuggets and the Kings, NBC Sports California. And then we'll have the game for you, of course, here on Sactown Sports. The Athletic, the power rankings, I don't spend a lot of time looking at power rankings, but it caught my eye that they have them in tiers. So tier 1, these are the teams that I think it's Zach Harper wrote this, the contenders, Boston, Minnesota, Clippers, Nuggets, and Oklahoma City. Tier 2 is brink of contention. We're talking about for the title. Cleveland Bucks, Suns, Pelicans, Knicks. Then tier 3 says playoff teams, and it says these teams probably don't have to worry about slipping into the play-in. Dallas, Orlando, and Sacramento. And, I hope that's the case. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought, whoa, you don't think the Kings are in danger of falling into the play-in? I mean, hopefully not, but I think that's certainly a reality we have to consider. So my question for you, again, I'm just asking the question, do we as Kings fans have to worry about the Kings falling all the way out of the play-in?
No. Did you say out of the play-in turn?
Yes.
Is that what you, Whitey?
I'm
about to have you
question.
turning your Sacramento Kings card. What are you talking? Out of the play-in?
I'm asking the question.
And I'm telling you the answer, Whitey. That would be ridiculous. That would be unfathomable.
Okay.
Like for this Kings team to fall. And I understand the schedule's tough. I understand, you got Denver a couple of times. You got the Clippers coming up after the All-Star break. You got some tough games. Minnesota coming up as well. But you got a little bit of a cushion between yourself and the Lakers right now. You got a cushion between yourself and the Golden State Warriors right now. I firmly believe that this All-Star break is going to do wonders for this Sacramento Kings team. And so I'm not too concerned. Like, I said it before, I look at the Pelicans as the team that's overachieving right now, that, will fall off as the season goes on. I need to look at their schedule. I understand the Kings got, the fifth most difficult schedule remaining, but I can't see this team, falling out of the playoff.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And by the way, that whole metric of the most difficult schedule, fifth most difficult, that varies game to game because, you can have a game that looks like a really hard game, but then when you get to it, well, so-and-so's not playing, or, so it doesn't hold as much water, I think, as a lot of people think it does. I agree with you, but, you look at the play-in right now. You brought this up yesterday. Right now in the play-in, you'd have Dallas and the Kings and the Lakers and the Warriors. Play-in, you'd think, well, that's kind of some teams that are just kind of around the margins trying to be respectable. So that's a really good field if that were the play-in field right now. After that, it goes Utah and Houston, and I have a hard time. Sometimes I get kind of pessimistic about things, but it's hard to see the Kings sliding all the way below Utah or Houston. That's hard to imagine.
You know what's crazy, Whitey? The top 10 are set. In my opinion, the top 10 are set.
I think so.
Houston had a great start to the season, but I can't see them making a charge, making a push. Utah just sold off some pieces, so they're rebuilding. And so I think the top 10 is set. To me, it's a race now for that 5-6 spot for Sacramento. I think the top 4 are set. We know the top 4 teams who they're going to be. And so if the Kings fell out of the play-in, my God.
Play-in?
What are we come on now. Oh, Whitey, please.
Play-in?
Gosh.
Yeah.
I'd say wake me up from this nightmare, right? There's zero chance that happens. I just can't see it.
Well, I was talking to somebody at the arena last week who was in one of those moods, like, boy, this isn't going well. And they kind of brought that up. So I was just wondering what you thought of that. And if I'm really, really being totally honest, it's hard to imagine. That said, as you mentioned, it sure would be nice, and this is the High Flyers' big thing. You want to finish in that top 6. Everyone knows that, but it makes such a difference.
No, 100%. And it makes such a difference because of what you just mentioned and I mentioned yesterday. Look at the talent you would have to play in the play-in tournament. It's not like you're playing, a horrible team. You're playing some of the all-time greats, maybe LeBron James, maybe Steph Curry, Luka Doncic, who could go off for a 50-point triple-double on any given night. And so you want to avoid the play-in, I think, at all costs. You have to earn your way, and it's possible you could do it. But I'm looking at the standings right now. Give me the 4 or 5 matchup between Phoenix and Sacramento. I wouldn't be afraid of the Phoenix Suns. I feel like we played them tough. If we had the 6-3 matchup with the Clippers, now that's a tough one. But, I don't want a one game to move on against LeBron or Steph or Luka. I just don't want that.
I said before the season started, the Kings would be 5th and they'd play OKC and they would be 4th in the first round. I don't know about that, but I would sure take that. By the way, right now on ESPN NBA Countdown, they have a question. The question isn't, have the Warriors gotten their splashback? It's, how have the Warriors gotten their splashback? So everybody's very high on the surging Warriors, and they have. Obviously, in all fairness, they didn't get LeBron at the deadline, which they apparently attended, but they've won 5 in a row. Lakers have won 2 in a row. Pelicans have won 2 in a row. Minnesota's won 3 in a row. So you just can't go into anything close to any kind of losing streak and expect to fare well in this Western Conference right now.
I'll tell you what, though, man. The Warriors, they must be the luckiest team alive because they got a big matchup with the Clippers and no Kawhi Leonard tonight. The Warriors have been beaten up on bad teams missing stars. They had the one nice win against Phoenix when Steph hit the dagger. Miracle win. They should have lost that game. Other than that, they've beaten some so-so teams. And so they're going to catch a break tonight. I'm still not sold on the Warriors at all. They're playing better basketball. I still think Draymond is a loose cannon. At some point, he's going to, explode. And so I'm not worried about the Warriors catching the Kings, to be honest with you. I think here's the thing with the Kings, Whitey. They are good enough to beat anybody. And so when you watch the Kings play and watch them, let's say, lose games, it's not about the opponent. It's about them. It's about them needing to be better. It's about them, not turning the ball over. It's about them making free throws down the stretch. It's about them doing the better job in perimeter defense. I don't think they go into any game and we're like, oh, they're overmatched. They have no shot. No, they can beat anybody if they play good basketball.
They just need Keegan to be more consistent and more aggressive.
Yeah.
And that needs to be something that you can count on night in and night out, because he definitely has that in his makeup. I'm not saying he's going to average 27 a game, but that's a guy that he's going to get 18 to 20. That's definitely something that we know already. I believe that that's something he's capable of.
Right.
And it's just, he makes strides towards that and has those big nights. And then, in February, he's been searching.
Yeah, he's been searching, and, it's, I don't know if it's Mike Brown running things for him or, Keegan himself taking more of a role. Like, one thing I wonder about this Kings team, too, is who's our hype man? Who's our vet in somebody's ear saying, yo, you're nice, you're the dude? Like, who's the guy building players up? Who's the locker room leader? Who's the guy that, inspires players? I don't know who it is. Maybe it's Malik. Maybe it's De'Aaron, because him and Keegan are close. But I think Keegan needs a shot of, yo, you're the man. You're the dude out here. Go be it. I think Doug Christie does a great job of that as an assistant coach. But I wonder if we have any players that, uplift the guys in that way as well.
Well, Drapes, you have a great call tonight. We're looking forward to having you back with us tomorrow. Good luck to the Kings. Stick around, because game night with the High Flyer and Scott Marsh is next right here as we get you ready for the Kings and the Nuggets on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie. I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. We'll see occasional rain as we go through the night tonight. All of this will clear out overnight. Tomorrow will be a dry day, partly cloudy with highs around 60. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA 3 app.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath